Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my show, Just Friends with Abdullah. Today we're doing another reaction, and the title of the video is I'm 26 and I've never been in a relationship. Interesting. Let's check it out.
Hi, it's Kiana. And as you read by the title, yes, I have never been in a relationship in my 26 years of existence on this planet. And in this video, I will share my thoughts on the matter and I will share maybe why I think I've never been in a relationship. I have been inspired by a few of the videos I've seen popping up on like the algorithm or TikTok and everywhere, like boop, 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 boop. And I was like, hey, that's like, I guess we're not alone. Let me share a bit of my story as well. Like, if it helps somebody out there, like, it's fine. Anyway, I think we better like start from the beginning. I guess like growing up, especially in high school, like when you start like getting like more feelings. It's like you're like more attuned to the idea of being with someone because everybody else is, and like everybody's seeking for a relationship in high school. In high school, I didn't really care. Honestly, I didn't really care for boyfriends. I was just doing my thing, studying, and even barely, but you know, I was like just minding my business. And the thing with high school is like there's peer pressure, and like everybody kind of speaks about like having crushes and like, oh my god, I like this guy or I like this girl. It's like I had one, but in hindsight, maybe it was just like I was changing schools, and this is the first person I saw, and he was nice enough to like smile at me, and I was like, oh, that's the one. Like, teenage brain is dumb. But yeah, I didn't, after this dude, I don't think I had another crush for like a while. Basically, crushes in high school, very limited, very, very limited. And I didn't act on it because, like, you're a teenage girl. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You're just gonna fantasize in your brain, in your head, and you're like, oh my god. I was a very introverted kid. I was like very, not sheltered, but more like socially awkward, I guess. Like, it was like, listen, I understand social interactions when I see other people do it. But when I do them myself, it's like, you know? Maybe I am neurodivergent. Oh god. Like when you say it out loud, it's kind of okay. I digress. I didn't get the concept of like relationships, and like especially in high school, it was like friends got into relationships with like people, with like my friends got into relationship with boys, and suddenly we didn't exist anymore. And that was the part that I personally didn't understand. Like, we are still here, but apparently it was like romance was already like categorized, like it was in a box above friendship. And this is what I didn't understand about relationships, and I still don't till this day, because as time progresses, like people kind of like don't understand that like at a certain age you've never had a boyfriend. Like, it's kind of wild to think that, oh my god, you're 16 if you never had a boyfriend, or oh my god, you're 18 and you've never had a boyfriend. Kind of like every time you go, like you become older, it's like crazier that you've never had a boyfriend, or you've never been in a relationship. And it's like, well, my value, my worth is not based on whether I've had a boyfriend before. That's crazy to base your value, your worth on another person, or whether or not you've been in a relationship before.
Yeah.
And that's why it was mind-boggling, like, to me. And then especially like conversational,
Spot on.
like when you're speaking with your friends, the main topic is, and always has been, relationships and boyfriends. And like, oh my god, did you see what Derek did to me? And I was like, I don't care. I'm sorry. I just want to speak woman to woman, you know? But no, there's always going to be a man involved. And it's annoying. Sorry. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, flash forward to after high school. This is where things kind of started going weird for me. And weird, I mean that for myself, not external. So college came in, and then suddenly I'm attracted to women. And I'm like, is that why I didn't find men attractive in high school? Like, there was so many questions in my head, and I was like, okay, let me do like a lot of tests online. You know, the am I gay tests online? I did a lot of those.
Okay.
And then it was just like, oh, okay, you're more like, maybe you're bi. Maybe I'm bi. Okay, I'll leave with that for the moment. And still, for all of my college years, like, I found some men attractive here and there, but I've never like pursued anybody. I've been on dates, if I remember correctly, but like it's more, I've been pressured into going on dates by parents. I've been on dates, but I've never like actually been in a relationship with somebody. And I think the reason being is that back then, like if I'm looking back at myself, I was so insecure.
Parents pressuring her.
That I didn't think that I deserved it, which is wild. I didn't believe that I was worthy of being like, not being worthy of being with someone, but I didn't think that I deserved love. Like I was like, no, I don't think I do. So I blew every like relationship. It was a strange time. And then as time progresses, you kind of like become resentful of the idea that you're alone. So yeah, story goes, you don't care because you don't understand, and then you discover things about yourself, and then suddenly you're still alone and you think there's something wrong with you, but there's not. But in your brain, your small developing brain, you still think there's something wrong with you. So you start to resent the idea of love, and you start to push yourself to be like, yeah, I don't need it. And then you like do everything to like prove to yourself and others that you're a girl boss and you don't need anything, and you don't need man.
I gotta pause here and just share my quick thoughts on this, my 2 cents. I mean, she kind of described it pretty well, and I think what people misunderstand by when they see a title, oh, I've never been in a relationship, time goes by so fast. Like, you don't know what's happening, suddenly you were in school, you're with your friends doing some fun stuff, playing sports. Bam, you graduated, and now you're in college or university. Bam, you finish university, and now you are in like the work life, the corporate world, or whatever you're trying to like in your next adventure or endeavor. And things are just moving at such a fast pace that you're not really caught up on what's happening. You're not processing all these things that happen within school or within college. And you're not able to understand, if you like someone, if you want to be with someone, what is some people some people in school, and I've seen plenty of them, they're not keen or interested in this whole boyfriend, girlfriend, or dating thing. They're just there to study, if that makes any sense. And not in the sense that they're not interested in liking someone, but they're maybe not even mentally mature to process that equation, and they're not able to kind of handle what is being in love or what is liking someone, and how do you go about it. You're just there, you laugh, you giggle, and then just as you discover yourself and as you grow, you start forming an idea of who you are and what you like and what you don't like. And that's when things just time flies. But she mentioned something important, is the idea that she also felt something was wrong with her. And a lot of people fall under that. And when you're single, when you're alone for such a long time, especially because of the society that you're in, and I spoke about in other videos where these norms or these things that are placed, and people think, oh, you just have to do them. And she mentioned how parents were pressuring her to go out on dates. So it is embedded within her family and her surroundings and environment where you should be with someone. You should be dating with someone. It is weird if you're alone. You get stigmatized, and people start thinking that you're not normal, right? And you start thinking you're not normal and you're weird, and you question if something is wrong with you. And that intrigue or possible interest can turn into, hey man, fuck everybody who's in love, screw everyone that's in relationships, I hate you, I hate this, and you become resentful and you stay away and you become avoidant, and that's dangerous, right? It's normal, right? Like, it's part of how you grow up and where you grow up and what are you exposed to. Yeah, I mean, let's hear what she says. More than 2 cents. My bad, guys.
need mans. You don't need anyone. And that's another thing to work out of. That's basically like, personally, this is what happened to me. This is
Feminism?
this was like my like roller coaster of how I feel with love. Nowadays, it's just like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And I am not actively pursuing it either, because dating apps and situationships, these two things I hate, I despise with my whole being. Okay, I don't know who coined the term situationship. Okay, I don't know. What I'm going to say is, why did you do it? It's dumb. These are the reasons. Dating apps, relationship. I am never downloading a dating app in my life. I have had friends.
She's a black and white kind of person.
Coming up to me
That's
and being
fair.
like,
I
"Oh my
respect
god,
that.
we could like create a dating profile for you and like set you up on dates." And I'm like, if you ever do that, I am cutting ties with you. I am never speaking to you ever again. I don't think they ever did, because their excuse is like, you could get anyone you want. Like, you're pretty enough. You're like. And it irks me so much, because like, I am pretty enough, I know, but you know exactly what type of person are on dating apps. I am not going to launch myself into a relationship
Okay,
just because
you
you
confident
want to.
much?
Like, I know my worth. I'm not going to like, oh, just because I
I'll
am
tell
a
you what,
certain
she's
age
funny.
right now, I have to be in a relationship. And I would just take the first person that comes along and like, okay, yeah. It's like, no, I'm just going to be alone until I find somebody that's worth my time. And then the second thing that I talked about was situationships. And that thing irks me so much, because it has to do with Gen Z, like our generation. And I'm like, okay, riddle me this. Gen Z is afraid of commitment, but most of us have tattoos. Exhibit A. The silence is loud. My take on it, my take on situationships is less that people are afraid of commitment and more that people don't want to settle for somebody that is not perfect. They're always waiting for, what if there's somebody better out there? And they're overlooking the person right in front of them, because there's no way that's like the best I can do. Like, I'm sure I can do better than that, which is a weird mentality to have that is directly linked to dating apps, because dating apps are designed to basically you shop your person. There's
is very
also
weird.
some people that have to pay for dating apps. It's wild to think that when you are on dating apps, you have to basically
Well, it's not just dating apps, it's just the way the world is today. You have social media that allows you to see the hottest women or whatever, you know. I mean, let's talk about the hottest women in Miami and Paris and wherever, right? And you're able to pick and choose what you like, you know, aesthetically. You've put together, and you always know that you're capable of getting more because it's out there, it's exposed to you. If you want to travel, you can travel, then you can go there, you can find someone. So you're never gonna be able to. It's gonna be hard, you know. It's gonna be hard for you to accept to settle, because you know you'll be able to find more. So what she's describing is just a symptom of the world. We're exposed to everything. Social media shows you everything. I live in a city like Dubai that you can imagine the different kind of people that you see from all around the world. So not just one place, and this develops into a symptom of sickness, you could say, of never compromising, of never settling. And one realization you have to accept and understand is that, as she said, you're not going to find everyone that fits the pieces. You need to work together to fit the pieces. That's what it is, you know. And I think there's a beauty in someone being flawed, because not that you want to fix them, but when you like someone, and I can also say this, I think with full confidence, when you like someone or when you fall for them, you also enjoy their imperfections, right? Because it's part of who they are. It's part of it just the good things and what they bring to the table overwhelms their imperfections so much that the whole picture seems, I think, very pleasant and nice. So let's go back to her. She's interesting.
Sell to strangers that you are dateable, and I hate that. You're in competition with like other people to prove that you are the perfect match. And also with dating apps, it has to do with like that dopamine level. Like when you get a match, it's like, and like if you have multiple matches, you're like, it's like it gets like a little you get a little tingle every time. So when you get into a relationship and you disinstall certain dating apps, that
I mean, a quick pause here. I think she's being a bit too negative on dating apps. I mean, I personally don't use them. But I think it's a good thing to do, you know. I mean, not everybody's out. Not everybody wants to, especially in certain cities where the social element is a bit limited. Maybe you're the person that doesn't like to go to bars or clubs or, you know, all the time out, and you have your hobbies and you have certain things that you're doing. Dating apps is a good option. I mean, why not, right? Like, it's nothing wrong with it. I think her opinion on it is a bit too pessimistic and negative. That's just my take.
that low dopamine level is not as present anymore, and you kind of start to miss it. So a lot of people openly like sabotage their relationships because they miss that like instantaneous dopamine level. Over the years, I kind of like realized, because I'm a very observant person, I like to just sit back and like people watch.
That's true.
That's my thing. I like to people watch, and my favorite thing to do was watch relationships come and go in my circle. I just like it. It's just fun to watch people interact when they are romantically involved, or if they're just like sexually involved, if you know what I mean. The difference between friendship and like romance is not that different, but there's like this certain level of like, it feels like there's more pressure. In friendship, it's like, even if you say or do like something like mean, I say mean in parentheses, but like it's less regarded as an affront. Whereas if you're in a relationship, especially a new one that didn't evolve from a friendship, it creates a precedent. Like it creates like resentment. Like, how dare you laugh at me? How dare you say something like that about me? Whereas your friend can do this, which is the same level. It's like, why is one more like heavy than the other? Which again, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how you can be in a relationship and not communicate your intentions with each other. Like, where do we draw the line at jokes? Like, why do we have to, as the bystanders, why do we have always...
I think I can answer that question. Of course it's different. You can't compare a friendship to the relationship. The relationship you're with the person, especially in the beginning, there's always this fear that that person may not like you because, you know, they view you in a certain way. You always want to be on your best impression or best behavior. So you may take everything sensitive, right? Especially if you're an insecure person about a lot of things, you could take a lot of things personally early on. I think, to answer a question, the difference between friendship and a relationship is the knowing that the person that you're with, possibly you might build your life with them, you might have a family with them, you might build a legacy. So how that person sees you and how you see them matters a lot. Let's put it that way.
To be like there to witness your quarrel. I am not like saying, hey, I don't want to be part of this. Like, I don't want to know every single detail of what goes on in your relationship. I am so sorry. I don't care. Every time I talk to friends about like relationships, it's also annoying because on the one hand, some people are like, you're so lucky that you're single because you don't have to deal with this. And the next day they're like going on dates with like their boyfriends, and it's like, okay, like I'm if you say, oh my god, you're so lucky that you're single, does that mean that you hate your person? But then the next day you're like, oh my god, I'm so in love. Like, I don't understand the metronome of going back and forth and like hating each other, loving each other. So goes back to situationships. People don't communicate with each other anymore, and I cannot have that. I need clarification. See, this is what I meant earlier. Maybe I am neurodivergent. Maybe this is why I don't understand relationships as much as like maybe a neurotypical person. But I'm sorry, situationships, like you're basically doing the same thing a couple does, but there's no label. And then someone in the situationship thinks they're exclusive while the other is like looking and sneaking around. It's like, and then it creates misunderstandings, and then it creates like resentment, and then it's like, oh my god, but I thought we were together, like I even introduced you to my family, and the other is like, but no, I thought we were.
So I'm gonna pause the video here. she goes on for maybe another 7-8 minutes, and I'm gonna link the video and I'm gonna link her channel. She seems like a very cool person, I think. First time I see her video, so her content seems pretty cool. But I think what she's trying to create is this story of why she has never been in a relationship, and in this story there are many different chapters, right? And we spoke earlier about the fact that she was saying how, you know, like in school she just wasn't interested, you know, she had a crush on a person, and then in college she wasn't sure if she liked guys or liked women, and now it has developed into she thought if something is wrong with her. Also part of that chapter is that she doesn't like dating apps, for example, and she doesn't like situationships. And you could argue that a big percentage of, not relationships, interactions, romantic interactions between men and women, a big part of the market share is situationships and dating apps. And those are things that she doesn't like, she doesn't work with. So it limits her pool of visibility, you could say, of what is out there and what are the potential partners. And this could be someone, you know, like, because now you're not keen on doing dating apps or exploring a situationship that could possibly turn into a relationship. You're not somebody who is always, for example, hanging out. You have this kind of preconceived notions about your friends saying being in a relationship is a bad experience. This is what she alluded to as well at the end of the video. So now you're now very limited. Now you just want to pick from A and H and X, for example. So you don't have a lot of options, and this could draw out. It could take a long time, you know, especially when you land a couple of dates that fit your criteria, and then those dates don't turn into relationships because of whatever it may be. So this develops into something that you can't control. And I think it's an example of how when you're somebody who is particular about your choices, and you know you're not open about everything, and you want things in a certain way, you're gonna have a limited choices at the end of the day, and you're gonna fall into a situation that you may never have a relationship, as she did for a very long time. Again, nothing is wrong or right here. It's a perspective, and I do disagree with some of her takes about, as I said, dating apps and other things she mentioned. But one thing is clear: she's very opinionated, and she knows exactly, or she thinks she knows the reasons of why she hasn't been in a relationship, and she kind of makes me feel like she's a bit of a rebel too, which is pretty cool. And she looks at things, I guess, from a very analytic kind of perspective. She sits down and analyzes the situation. What are maybe the pros and cons? And sometimes in love and relationships, it's not about analysis, it's about how you feel, I guess, right? And if it's good, if it's not good. You guys let me know. This is just my overall take on it. It's a very interesting video, by the way. One of the more interesting reactions I've done. Let me know your thoughts on it, and I'll see you soon.